France versus England quarterfinal preview. I'll go ahead and get your overall thoughts. I think we both had this in our predictions, and I think we might
Hmm.
have both picked France. But so, what do you expect from this match? Which is going to be such a good game to watch.
I think this match might be decided soon as they release the starting 11s. I've predicted that Southgate's gonna go to a five in the back to play France, and if he does go to a five in the back to play this French team, which would be kind of a head scratcher because they haven't really played that 11 this whole tournament, but it's a line that's a 11 that formation that Gareth Southgate loves to run. He loves to run five in the back. I think if they play five in the back, they lose this game,
I don't think they're
and
going
it's
to play
gonna
that though.
Yeah, I don't I think they might. I think there's a possibility, but if they do, I think that's already as soon as I see that, it's like okay, England have no chance. But if England played this 4-3-3 they've been playing, I give them a easily, it's a coin flip. This game's a coin flip. But if it's 4-3-3, I give the little edge to England because I think England have a better squad. France have the best player, Mbappe. But when we combine these two teams, let's just go down it. Okay, number one, Mbappe. Number two, I would say Harry Kane. Number three, I would say Phil Foden. Number four, I would say Jude Bellingham. And that's just the top five players, and four of them are English. And obviously, the French have a great team. I mean, they have Dembele, but they have Giroud. Arguably Giroud could be up there, but I think how they're playing right now, Kane, Foden, and Jude Bellingham better than him. And I like Chouameni is playing very well, but I mean he has Rabiot next to him. Rabiot isn't playing decent, but I mean when you're running up possibly Jordan Henderson, Champions League winner, Premier League winner, Jude Bellingham on top of the world right now, and a very underrated holding midfielder in Declan Rice. This team is set up for it's written in the stars that it's coming home. It's going to be such a close match. But with all that being said, I still have to back up my original pick. I think with England having a better squad, I think it's just going to still come down to the best player in the world. Kylian Mbappe is going to put his fingerprints all over this game, and they could have Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker might not be 100% fit, and that's going to be, he's going to definitely be targeting Harry Maguire and Stones. That center back pair is going to have their night packed full, having to deal with Kylian Mbappe and Giroud and Dembele. So I would have to give the slight edge to France, and I see them winning this game. I'll say they win this game 3-2.
3-2. Well, I think that this is obviously going to be a very close game, and I think, I do expect. I don't see why England would switch to formation. Especially that they have had success in the last two games with the four three
I
three.
Look, I think Southgate is open to do anything, and I think Southgate's looking at this team and he's shitting his jocks. I mean, they've during the entirety of the Euros they played five in the back, and they always seem to, Gareth when he plays the upper echelons. We haven't seen him play an upper echelon team like France. So I don't know what he could be thinking. He could be thinking we're running against the best player in the world, and Giroud and Dembele. We need a little bit more on the defensive side. But I'm just throwing it out there as a possibility. We've seen him play this formation all through. I mean, all through his tenure with England. But you know,
So yeah, basically my point. I don't expect them to do that. This is my expectation. I could be wrong. I could end up looking like a complete clown for saying this, but I don't expect England to run the five at the back. I think they're going to come out in their 4-2-3 like they've been playing, and I think it's going to be a super tight match. It's going to come down to the finite details. Who's going to do the little things right, because when you have two great sides, that are loaded with so much talent, it's who's gonna make less mistakes, who is gonna not make the mental errors, and I think that this England squad does have a lot of pedigree. They have potentially Champions League winners in there, and they have Premier League winners, and but this France team, they have that. A lot of them were around for this 2018 run. And I back them to do the little things right. And obviously, Mbappe, he is on a whole other level right now. I think, if it's Kyle Walker marking him, he's got his work cut out for him, and that's not even to say that, what else this France attack has, because Giroud, you wouldn't think at his age, that he's just a huge threat, but he is, even at his age, he's a center back nightmare, and you don't want to give him any chances. And obviously, the opposite wing, you've got Ousmane Dembele, who is going to give Luke Shaw nightmares. I would assume, because he's going to be running at him the entire game. It's going to be very interesting to see how that matchup fares. Overall, I think that this France team is going to be able to hold this English attack, and I have to give France the edge here in this game. I think it comes down to moments of brilliance, once again, who's going to do the little things right, and I give France the edge in that. I think they do the little things right. They don't make the mental mistakes, and we even saw it today against Senegal. England, they didn't get punished, but they had a couple mistakes, especially in the first 30 minutes when Senegal were probably, on the front foot. They had a couple mistakes here and there, and they didn't get punished. You make those mistakes against France, you are getting punished. They have the best player in the world right now, Kylian Mbappe.
And the same could be said about France. Giving up a couple good chances to Poland. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was a chance where Varane saved it off the line. I mean, same could be said. You
Yeah,
give that shot to Harry Kane, you give that to Phil Foden, they score. But this is going to be, this is just adding on to the fact that how close this game is going to be, how it's going to come down to the fine details. Who's punctuating their sentences, who's doing everything they have to do correctly.
and when it's so tight on the pitch with the players, it comes down to the chess match between the managers. And give me Didier Deschamps to win the chess match against Gareth Southgate. I
I
don't
would agree
trust
there.
Gareth Southgate. Look, he did the right
I
lineup
wouldn't trust Southgate to win me a game of checkers, man.
in any big game. Are you really backing Gareth Southgate to win a big game? Against a top country, against the world champions. I find it, I could be wrong and England could win this match, but I just find it hard for me to back Gareth Southgate in such a crucial, big match against the world champions. I think it's going to be tough. And that is my main reason for backing France, the best player in the world. And I think they win the chess match in terms of the tactics.
And dude, who God knows how the internet is gonna blow up if England find a way to win this game. Oh my god. The amount of YouTube videos I'm gonna get spammed in my recommended is gonna be unreal. It's
Well,
gonna be unprecedented.
if England are able to win this game, then I mean, who's to say they're not going to go on and win the whole thing?
Oh yeah. I mean,
This is one of the main teams that we're looking at as favorite. Obviously, we consider England a favorite per se. They were a top 5 contender for it, but realistically, you're looking at Brazil, Argentina, France, England, and then maybe Portugal as that 5th team. Those are the 5 teams that I would expect to have the best chance.
maybe
And
Portugal. What the hell? What's wrong with you?
but no, I'm not saying maybe. I'm just saying like in terms of betting favorites, those are the top
Oh,
5.
I'm okay. Well,
So then 2 of them are going at it. So if and France, I think, are number 2. They are the number 2,
yeah,
betting
I think
favorite.
no, I think it goes Brazil. Oh, are we talking before the tournament or right now? Before the tournament, it was Brazil, Argentina, France, and I forget from that. I just remember the top three.
But basically, the point is that this is probably the biggest match that England have played in since that
Yeah,
Euro
this
loss.
yeah,
But
yeah.
look, we've pointed it out before. Let's not forget. If you want to use the comparison, this is the biggest match since that Euro loss against Italy. Let's remember how they played in that
Oh
match.
God,
You want to run through it, G?
I
Look,
don't. I don't want to remember that match.
that was an absolutely pathetic match. I mean, look how many
Pathetic performance.
they had one shot on target the whole game, if I'm not mistaken, right?
In 120 minutes of play, they went to extra time.
And then ultimately they lost on pens. One shot on target.
Ultimately, they lost.
So we know that Gareth Southgate,
They
led
scored in the
teams.
10 minutes, and
We
that
know
was the only shot.
we know that in big games, Gareth Southgate teams can play too defensive that they can, you know.
They can wet the bed. I mean, the Gareth Southgate is a bedwetter, man.
So if they're able to win this match, and if they win it convincingly, if they they put they take this game by the scruff of the neck and they're able to win this match, I'll hold my hands up and say I'm impressed, and it's time to really think that this team could win it all. But I'm not going to go there until after the match, because it's going to be close, but I back France. Give me the
Yeah,
pedigree.
Yeah, I would say that as well. I mean, I always thought Gareth Southgate's holding this team back somewhat, but it might just come down to the fact this team is so talented. They don't give a damn. They don't care if it's freaking who's coaching them. Uh, they're gonna play in spite of Gareth Southgate, and that's a possibility. But I think France don't really have that problem. They don't have to play in spite of anything. They just have to play French football, and I mean that's won them that won them a world championship. So yeah, I would have to round this out with I got France winning this game, and England are going home.
And also, I don't think France have like the confusion. Like we still don't know, even though this was a dominant win, we don't know who England are starting next game. Mason Mount could find his way back into the team. So
I I I doubt it, but like I said, it's Gareth Southgate, man. Who knows, dude? I mean, who knows?
that we know that whatever the French, we know that the French starting 11, what it is what that's what it's going to remain. So I think the point is that give me the French consistency. Like you said, I back France, you back France. If France win, if England do win this game, it's going to be madness.
Oh
Especially, I mean,
god, it's
it's
gonna
going to
be
be madness
crazy.
even on this the
English
episode
Twitter gonna have to
the
turn
episode
off.
the episode on this pod if that's going to happen if England win this game is going to be crazy. But